Hello everyone and welcome to Vivid Collectibles. My name is Danny and today I'm going to be highlighting and reviewing this quarter scale Deadpool statue by XM Studios. This statue has been around for a little while and it's got a real controversial aspect to it, and I understand what it is and I understand why it is. Now that I have it in hand, I'm going to actually review this statue. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, it's easily the best sculpted and painted Deadpool statue out there. It's not even close. But the one controversy is going to decide whether you buy it or not. It's the reason I didn't pick it up till now. And now that I have it, I understand why people didn't. But the details are so good, it's worth getting anyways. Now this statue, to my surprise, was sculpted by Daniel Bell and a gentleman named Philip Herman, I believe, whom I never heard of, and it's a collaboration between XM Studios and Studio Hive. I know that Daniel Bell's done a little work for XM Studios. I believe he worked on their Iron Fist, and I know that he worked on this one. And when you look at the sculpt, you can tell. You can see Daniel Bell's work all over it. The great physique, just that natural flow that Daniel Bell is really, really well known for. This happens to be version B. They made it in version A and in version B. Version B of this statue was limited to 358 pieces worldwide, and version A only got 88 of them. Now, like I mentioned, it's been out for a while. I believe it retailed for about $1,000 when it first came out. And Spec Fiction had it for almost 2 years. And they had this sale on it, and it went for like nearly half of the original asking price. So I jumped on it. And I'm glad I did. To find out why, we're going to get into this more in the review aspect of it. Okay, so this is the version A setup. So this is what you would get if you got version A. And what you're getting is quite a bit. So he's jumping over a carousel horse. You can see the wooden planks on here, like a light brown, nicely painted with a lot of really good detail on this. Look at the cracks in the wood, all the wear and tear on it, a couple little dynamite sticks on it. You get a couple little blades, right, the little knives in here to display throughout. The sub base, very nice. And the cross beams there. Again, the wood is really nicely sculpted and painted. You can see that bubblegum pink and blue by the steps, and that beautiful gold piping throughout. Definitely you can see it's a carousel for children. Above that, now here's the controversial aspect of it. This statue is very, very wobbly. Very wobbly. As I turn it, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. It's just very unsteady. The engineering on this, in some aspects, is genius, and other aspects makes no sense. This entire statue is being held together by this one peg, and it doesn't even go that deep into the base, maybe about that much. It is square, so there's no room for it to move, but that scared a lot of people off, including myself. So when you're moving this statue, you got to be extremely, extremely careful. You have to hold it just right. I barely want to move it myself. I almost didn't want to do this review, but I thought that this statue deserves a review. I know some people have reviewed it in the past, but it's been a while since I've seen a review. I haven't seen a recent one. Now that I have it, I'll give you my take on it. It's beautifully painted. The sub base, or the base itself, is painted really, really well. See a couple of arrows protruding through. Everything looks about as real as it can get. XM does a great job on their paint and their sculpts and everything else. Look at this carousel horse. That high gloss white, that bubblegum pink, right? Looks like Pepto-Bismol. Everything is painted immaculately. You can see little damage, right? All over it. Very nice. You can see the stirrups, nicely painted and sculpted. You can see the seat. Good variation of colors. Great textures on this. Really a beautiful paint job. Really comes to life. As I'm moving this right now, I'm still nervous. Look at this thing. But I want to give you a good look at what this statue has to offer. In terms of paint and sculpt, it's immaculate. Very little to complain about here. The unicorn right there, the little horn. Very nice. Again, good textures, great colors. Looks amazing. Amazing, really. As for Deadpool himself, what can I say? Again, the same great attention to detail. All the level of detail on that. The leather straps, the boot itself. This looks like steel, right? The red. Look at the wear and tear on that. Look at the laces. Really immaculate. And look at the suit itself. It's almost like a bright red with some nice textured blacks. This sculpt reminds me a little bit of Daniel Bell's Daredevil that he did for Sideshow. Look at this. Look at the treads in the bottom of the boots. All the stitching, right? The wear and tear on the boots. The leather looks great. You can see even the outfit itself is dirty, right? Look at where the fabric is pulling. Very nice job. Again, immaculate paint job. Easily the best painted Deadpool statue I've ever seen. Look at this. Again, the boots. Now this is, again, version A. I'm going to show you everything else you get in version B, which is the way that I plan to display it. You have a, I think this is called a sai. There you go. Really cool weapon. Look at the holsters, the leather, the rubber chicken. Looks like a real rubber chicken. It's a funny piece. Again, look at the pouches. Really nicely done. Great paint applications. Great sculpt. See that gun right there. I love the details and the colors on these. Look at the leather straps and all of the rings, the metal rings that make it up. Very, very cool. But it's very wobbly, so I'm nervous just doing this. Great physique. Look at all the musculature on this guy. Again, the wrinkles and all the pulling of the materials. He's sleek. He's not a big bodybuilder type, but he's built, very, very sleek. Look at that. Very nice. And this, like a submachine gun, this thing is awesome. A lot of great detail on this statue. It's amazing. All right, and here we have more of that great detail. Muscles in his back. Look at the katana sheaths. Awesome. He's ready to do damage with the right hand. And then the portraits are great. Really, really nice. Look at that with the whited out eyes, his mask. You can see the indentation of the ears, the jawline. Really, really nice. And then right here is the Deadpool belt buckle. Looks awesome. This is version A, and this is what you get with that. Now, I'm going to pause this video for a second, and I'm going to put together what you get in version B and tell you what I like and don't like about this statue, and ultimately whether I plan on keeping him or not. Okay, so this here is the version B setup. So what you get here is this frame, right? That's supposed to basically be him jumping out of a comic book frame. It's got the chimichangas on it, all right? And then you have the Wahoo to be continued. So obviously he's jumping out of the comic book. Just really cool, actually. It's a nice addition. And then you get this unmasked or half-masked portrait of Wade Wilson. You see the bloody, right, the blood on it. And then this grenade that he's grabbing by the pin. This thing is a nightmare to put in there and have it stay in there. I feel like it's going to fall out any second. I got my little dog barking in the background. But again, a nice touch, nice addition. And my favorite part of this is he's got these rollerblades that are super detailed. The wheels even spin on this thing. It's crazy. Look at the detail on that. And then you have that smoke plume, right? Look at the way it flows. Looks really cool. And then that knife that he's got right there. Awesome detail. But again, the roller skates are really nicely sculpted and painted. They look unbelievable. And then you could even see here where it's, it's hot. And it's basically the colors tell you that. Very nicely done. I'll show you this one here. Rollerblades takes it to another level. So version B, you get quite a bit more. You get an extra set of shoes, rollerblades in this case. You get that picture frame, and you get that portrait that's half-mast of Wade Wilson. So you get quite a bit. I like both versions, but if you don't get version B, you are missing out on some pretty cool switch outs that you're going to be able to switch up if you want to. But in terms of paint and sculpt, overall design, just how dynamic this is, very hard to beat what you're getting in version B. Now, for the price I got it, it's well worth it. The big issue is engineering on this was really, really just not that well thought out, because this thing is being held by almost nothing. And when you move it around, it's extremely wobbly. And that concerns me over the long haul. But overall, I think it's the best quarter scale Deadpool statue I've seen. I still own Sideshow's Heat Seeker, which is a different take. That's really well done too. But in my opinion, this is better sculpted and painted than that one. So ultimately, I'm going to end up keeping this one. But I do understand why this statue is so controversial. I get it. This version of Deadpool isn't for everybody. He's a little goofy, right? And I'm sure that in certain versions of the comic book, he's not. He's more of an assassin. But in the movies, he's kind of a loudmouth as well as a mercenary. So it kind of fits what the modern take on Deadpool is. I really like this statue. I intend to keep it. And let me know what you guys think. I know this is a controversial one, basically because of the engineering. It's just in some ways genius because of the way it's balanced, right? So they found a way to balance the weight so that it doesn't tip over or go anywhere. But it's still too wobbly, and if you put it on a 360 display while it moves, it shakes a little bit. So, it makes me nervous, but I really like it. For comparison, I'm going to put Sideshows next to it just to give you a look at both of them. All right, so here we have Sideshow's Heat Seeker premium format next to the XM Studios Deadpool. And that one's a little bit, taller, the XM one, even though it's on that turntable, even without it, it's still a little bit taller. It's definitely a little more dynamic. It's jumping over that horse, even though Sideshows is really, really nice too. So the Sideshow one has a lot going on as well. It's a lot more stable, so it's much better engineered. I do like this exploding base. And, the outfit or his costume is just as intricate with more pouches. The pouches is really nicely sculpted as well. So you'd be, it's a different take on it with a whole different paint applications. The guns are really, really nicely done on both of them. But for me, there's just something about XM's paint job on this, and also their sculpt and the details that put this one over the top. But as far as engineering goes, Sideshow wins this one every time. But I like them both. I'm going to part with the Heat Seeker. I can't keep them both. I don't have the space. But I'm glad to have owned that for a while. Anyways, thank you for watching. Until next time, guys.